G'day guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I'll be doing my first tipping video of 2024. I'll be going through my round 0 predictions. So yeah, let's jump straight into it, starting off with the first game of the season between Sydney and Melbourne at the SCG. Now this game should be a difficult one to tip, that's for sure, because, you know, Sydney, they're tipped to do quite well this year, and you know, I had them doing quite well, but, you know, they've got a bit of a midfield carnage at the moment. Callum Mills, Luke Parker, Taylor Adams, they're all going to miss this game. And, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they go in their midfield with those absences. I feel like we're going to see maybe a few younger players maybe having to step up. But they've got quite a good young list, Sydney. And, yeah, I'm very, very excited to see how they go, especially in the earlier particular parts of the season where I think we should see some youngsters shine. In my opinion, I probably underestimated Sydney heading into this season. I personally think that they probably have the best young talent in the comp. You know, their forward line is quite young with some slight experience from, you know, Heaney and Papley. Their midfield obviously does look a little bit weak at the moment, but with experience back from Mills, Parker and Adams, it's going to be quite dangerous with Grundy in there as well. And their defence isn't amazing, especially the key stocks, but, you know, it could do the job. And Melbourne, you know, they've had quite the interesting off-season and quite a difficult one with, you know, Clary Oliver. He's been confirmed that he's going to play in this game, though, which is, you know, positive for them. They've got quite a lot of injuries to their forward lines, and their forward line mix for this game will not probably be their best. That's for sure. That we'll see through the season. And, you know, that defence is probably the key for them this early on. I want to say, you know, with if their defence can hold up and, you know, maybe stop some goals leaking from the Swans, then maybe we could see a good performance by Melbourne. But yeah, I'm going to back in the Swans, yeah, for mine, by 8 points. And, yeah, I do see, Melbourne challenging, in this game just because of, Sydney's, you know, midfield carnage. And my big calls, will be returning, in 2024. My big call, there are 15 or more goals kicked by both teams in the second half. I think it'll be quite a high-scoring second half, obviously, there. Now, moving on to the next game on the Friday night between Brisbane and Carlton up at the Gabba. Now, this one should be, you know, quite highly anticipated game, you know, rematch of last year's prelim final. It should be a nice one to open the season off on. And, yeah, I'm excited to see how both teams go. You know, both teams have added slight new recruits, but, you know, have their injury concerns. Carlton with Sam Walsh and Wiedering and even some other forwards like Owies and Motlop all in doubt or possible to miss this game. And, yeah, it'll be quite interesting to see how they go as well. See what type of game style they go for. Because they weren't amazing in their practice matches, Carlton. You know, they lost to Geelong and I can't remember who their other one was against, but I believe it was a loss as well. Against Melbourne, I think. Yeah, they weren't great, so it'll be interesting to see how they go. But yeah, I'm pretty confident that Brisbane are going to win this game. I'm excited to see how, you know, they go after, you know, failing last year in the grand final and you know, flagged. You know, it was a big game and like last year in the prelim, and you know, the Brisbane were able to come back and pull off a good win. And I feel like something similar could happen here. I feel like Carlton could get off to a good start. And then, you know, maybe Brisbane, you know, maybe a bit rusty, but then play a lot better in the second half and, you know, get the job done. And I'm going to go by 25 points for mine, Brisbane. And, yeah, my big call, Carlton lead at quarter time. Now, moving on to the Saturday doubleheader for this opening round. We got 2 games. The first being Gold Coast versus Richmond. Up at Heritage Bank for Dimmer's reunion. Now, this one is, you know, going to be, you know, it's one booked in to watch. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Richmond, I don't think they'll be any good this year. In Gold Coast, in particular, I'm gonna look forward to watching. I think this year under Dimmer, and their forward line. If they can get that right, then they could be quite a high scoring team. Their midfield looks exciting. Their defense is very solid in my opinion, and yeah, I think Gold Coast should win this game. Yeah, if we're basing off pre-season, they weren't great, that's for sure, against GWS. They lost by 50. Yeah, it was a bit of a disaster, but it was just pre-season, so nothing to worry about there, really. Ben King, I think, has a little bit of an injury niggle, but then you look at the other side of things, Nankervis, I don't think is playing for Richmond, and Dusty is under a bit of an injury cloud, apparently, with a calf. So, both teams have a bit of injuries, but I'm going to go Gold Coast, and comfortably as well. I don't think they'll smash. Again, like Brisbane, I think they might be a bit rusty, because they weren't great in the preseason and all that. I think they might be a bit rusty to start this one off, and it may be even a little bit inaccurate. I don't know. It's hard to tell, really. But I'm going to go Gold Coast by 37 points. I think they'll be quite dominant in this game. And my big call, look, Ben King, he hasn't been confirmed to miss, and I think if he plays, he'll be dominant. So I'm going to tip him to kick 5 or more goals. Now, the only problem with that is if he does miss, then, what's going to happen? So I've decided that this year, if I have a big call of a player and they don't end up playing, then I'll just have to fail it. So if Ben King doesn't play, this will be an automatic fail of a big call, which is quite disappointing. Last year, I just changed it and just maybe told people on YouTube that I changed it. But this year we ain't doing that. Moving on to the final game of the round, which is the one I'm obviously most looking forward to, seeing the Pies kick off their premiership defence against the Giants up at Giant Stadium. And, what a game this one should be. GWS, though, they have injury concerns heading into this game. Harry Perryman, Isaac Cumming, and Finn Callaghan have all been confirmed outs for this game. I think Cumming could even be out for round 1 as well against North. So, they've got their injury niggles, the Giants. But nevertheless, I still think they've got enough depth to cover it and challenge us. Collingwood... It'd be interesting to see how we go, obviously, the start of the year, because we don't really know, do we, what the plan is for this year. But, look, I think it's going to be a tough one, obviously, because GWS, they play similar to us, and it's going to be, a home ground advantage. I think it's going to be really, really close. I think it's going to be tough without Jeremy Howe as well. Scott Pendlebury is a bit of it. Apparently, it's a test. This is news that's recently just come out. That Pendlebury, he's not confirmed to play, so all of a sudden that's a bit of experience out. Does Charlie Dean make his finally muchly anticipated debut for the club? Maybe, because Nathan Murphy obviously is out as well, and it'll be interesting to see what key forward structure we go with McStay out. But look, if we stick to the basics, play good, brave, bold footy, I think this one will be a high-scoring one. And, it's tough to predict, though. But I'm going to go Collingwood by 2 points. I'll back my own team in, even though I feel GWS could win this one. And my big call, the lead never goes beyond 15 points for the entire game, making it quite an entertaining game, ending off my predictions for opening round. Hopefully you guys enjoyed these predictions. Obviously, a bit of a shorter round. I'll get more into things once round 0's over, and, we'll next week, we'll continue, we'll go through and discuss what happened in round 0 and my tips and my bold calls and all that, and then we'll do, usual go through the predictions for round 1. How it is with my tipping videos. Just got to get back into the routine of doing them. But hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one next week.